We talk about rest literally all the time on the interwebs, and yet we still feel that pang of guilt, I feel like, when we actually stop. When we're actually like, no, I need a minute. No, I'm burnt out. No, I just need to do nothing right now. No, don't ask me for one other thing. And a lot of that is because I think we've inherited the grind and we forget to breathe. Because for it to be talked about so much and for us to know the importance of it and still, struggle with what that looks like and how to fold it into our lives, there's usually something else going on. So we're going to get to that. But my family and I went to El Valle de Anton for just like, I want to say a couple days, but really a day and a half, like one full day that we're there. It was a quick trip. We stayed at a really, really nice, hotel. This is like our gift to ourselves because last week was our anniversary, went to eat dinner, but we wanted to do, a little something else. Our kids were in tow. Our kids were in tow. Sometimes that happens, and it's fine. But when we were telling people along the way that we're going to El Valle, they were like, I love El Valle. It's so amazing. The weather, just it feels so good. And the mountains, it is gorgeous. And they were giving us all the things to do. Like people will give you recommendations. Oh, you got to go here. You got to go to the zoo. You got to go to the butterfly sanctuary. You got to go to the hot springs. You got to go check out this market. You got to go check out this activity. And I love that for us. And we're like, okay, we're going to go back. We're going to spend a longer period of time, at least a week, and we'll fold these things in. But what he and I wanted to do was to chill. With such a short time, we just wanted to chill. We wanted to chill by the pool, okay, in our complimentary robes, and just like have a good time and talk and cuddle and look into each other's eyes while they bring us like a drink or whatever. And we wanted to just, do that. The kids are in the pool. Also gets in the pool a lot too. We wanted to eat good food, and the food was amazing because the hotels that are here, that La Compañía was the visionary, and the one who created it was a chef and owned restaurants and bars and things like that. And so the attention to detail in the restaurant was delicious. So we ate good food, we walked the gardens, we did chill things. We did not do all of the things. And we currently live in Panama City. And a city is a city. Okay, so a city is gonna city. It's gonna be car. I hear it right now. It's gonna be car horns. It's going to be like music. It's going to be a bit of a hustle and bustle energy. I don't feel a whole lot of hustle here, coming from New York. In the comparison, there's trees to still look at here in the city, but there's high rises. It's a completely different feel. And and El Valle in the mountains, or in the valley with the mountains and the rolling hills and walking the gardens, and just the climate is different. The temperature was kind of like spring day, comfortable spring day type temperature. In the city, it's humid, it's hotter, and we're out of our regular routine with the kids, with the house, with the dishes, all of that. So it just feels different. It feels like calm. It feels like tranquilo, right? And we needed that. That was very nice. We can move from just all the things in the city to just a completely different vibe. And what that was we just took time out to just be. We were just being, instead of feeling like we have to be enmeshed in doing. And had we tried to fit all of the things that people had said, or even a few of those things in, we would have been enmeshed in the doing. And the reality is the city is cool. We enjoy being in the city. And it's very much our routine requires a lot of doing. We do here quite a bit. In addition to just chill, we fold that into our lives, but we still do here. So to be in an environment where we could just be and not have to do a lot, and to talk to our kids about like, hey, this is gonna be it's gonna be a chill day. Let's bring some of your favorite things so that you can craft, you can, do those kind of things that you enjoy doing. You can also go to the pool. So there's not this expectation that we're gonna take you in such a short period of time to do all of these things, and previewing for them like what this trip is going to look like, especially when you have your kids in tow. But I think that I said earlier, I feel like we inherited the grind and we forget to breathe because people will often talk about how their parents were hardworking, right? Hardworking is any way you slice it. Anytime I hear it, it is a badge of honor to be hardworking. And I I challenge myself and I challenge you if you want to come on this ride with me to think about what image comes to mind when you think of the word working. What does it look like to be hardworking? Because when I think about someone, my husband, who worked with his mental, figuring things out, and very physical career and business as a as a mechanic, auto technician, and mobile mechanic when he started his own business, that he was working really hard. Now, everything that he's doing is about him figuring it out in his mind. He's still working hard. However, he doesn't have that physical aspect, right? And he also works hard for a time and is able to kind of take his rest and be like, okay, I did what I needed to do for today online to do what I need to do for my family, and now I'm done. And there's rest built in, which when he was mental and physical, there wasn't a lot of rest built into that. And so I challenge myself, like, what does it look like to be hardworking? Because we hold that in such high regard. Like our parents were hardworking, our grandparents were hardworking, and don't let one of them try to make it seem like you late. Don't be a millennial like me. I'm an elder millennial, okay? But don't be a millennial or after a millennial, and they will come for you sometimes. They'll be like, so we used to when we were and we used to do this, and it's not like there's not merit to that because we live in a world, a technological world where so much is done for you and you don't have to think and figure things out in the same way that you used to. It's different. Granted, I'm going to put that over here and put a little pin on it and just talk about the fact that in our minds when we think about grandparents, parents, ancestors who worked really hard, who grinded, who were like, I don't need sleep. I just need to make sure everything was okay. And a lot of times had to do it that way. That conversation needs to be coupled with a conversation about their mental health, even their physical health. Did this stuff start happening to their bodies because of how hard they were working? Their emotional health, how were they feeling on a regular basis? Were they feeling torn down? Were there bouts of depression? I don't feel like those conversations should happen in a vacuum. But the reality is, as the progeny, as the people that came after, listening to grandparents or parents, or even our ideas and understandings of how our ancestors worked and what they had to do, we often will covet that and be like, in order to feel worthy of whatever comes our way. I think this is the crux. Like, in order to feel worthy of whatever comes our way, we have to grind. We have to work hard, whatever picture in our mind comes up when we think about that, and that leaves little room for breath and for rest. The irony is, in order to even work hard, you need to rest. You need to you need to put down the grind at some point. The grind has a place. You know what I mean? Like working that has a place, but it doesn't mean that it's happening so regularly that you don't have spaciousness to breathe. And I think what we want to create is spaciousness, the space to be. And sometimes that can be as simple as changing your environment, like being like, look, I'm gonna get out this office and I'm gonna go sit at the park on the bench where people are walking their dogs or whatever, and I'm gonna have my lunch out there. And I'm gonna look at the trees and I'm gonna do, whatever. I used to do this when I worked in corporate financial district around Wall Street. I used to be like, I've got to get out of this building. You're not gonna have me in this building eating lunch, okay? Trying to enjoy my time because I give you all the other time. This is my time, my little hour, okay? Thank you. I will take my lunch elsewhere. And if I wasn't sitting down in some place and actually eating in the restaurant, whether I was by myself or I was with a friend, a coworker friend, I was like, when I first got there, I was by myself. I was eating at the park. I would take and I was baffled that people were eating at their desk. I was like, what is happening here? Are you on your computer during your lunch break? Like, is everything going to fall apart if you actually take your hour to have a change of scenery? And sometimes it literally is that simple. And I feel like for us, kids in tow and all, like going to the mountains. It was like that restfulness. And then folding the rest in our lives are those moments where like, I'm not about to I'm not about to do this right now. I'm gonna take a minute for myself. I'm gonna take a second to read a few chapters of this book. And I think we cheat ourselves. That's not the word I want to use. I kind of want to say we lie to ourselves a little bit. Nope. We convince. Boom, there it is. We convince ourselves that things will fall apart if we don't do right now, 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 now. And I feel like that's rarely the case. I'm not saying there aren't time sensitive things in life, but I feel like it's rarely the case where like it's all going to fall apart if we don't do this thing right now, 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 now. We can usually take a little time to ourselves, but we just don't. And I think it comes back to that sense of worthiness and feeling like we're not honoring those who came before us if we are not grinding all the time or working hard or prioritizing other things beyond rest. And we're not oblivious to the fact that so many conversations about the need for rest are had. Not just sleep, that's just a part of it, but resting our minds, having space to think, be alone with your own thoughts, to vision, to have clarity about something that you need clarity about. That takes moments. And even when we're in survival mode, probably we need it even more when we're in survival mode. In this economy, as people say, I don't know. I still love that saying. Okay. But in this economy, when things feel tight, when things feel off, when things feel overwhelming, we probably need it more. Which I get is ironic. Like, this is when we really should be grinding and figuring it out, but you can't figure out anything. If you are in such a tight space, not just physically, but in your mind and in your emotions. There's no outlet for anything. Having moments, and this could be 5 minutes, this could be 15 minutes, it could be an hour, that makes a difference. Like tonight, this is Friday. What day is this? Whatever day it is, it's the why am I saying February, child? June 12th, I want to say. This Friday, I have my 10-minute connection reset with my couples and the marriage culture membership. And we just take 10 minutes to just breathe, to connect, to ground, to get clarity. And that might be their moment because the lives are life and life is life and they're busy the rest of that month, but they're here and we have this moment. And really, they realize it doesn't take a lot to feel connected. I think that's also like a mindset shift and a key. Like, it doesn't take a lot to sit and to be intentional for like 10 minutes. Things will not fall apart. So we're not dishonoring our everybody who came before us and worked hard if we have moments of rest, if we live in a bit of a softer life, okay, or if we're searching for softer moments in what feels like a hard life, we're actually honoring it. We're honoring what they did, what they gave us, what they allowed us to have in terms of options and spaciousness. It's a way to honor it because we're honoring ourselves. Okay. Hopefully, this landed with whoever needed to hear it. I think I needed to say it. I think I needed to hear it and process it coming back from the mountains yesterday and just wanting to share this with you. And if it resonated, please let me know in the comments down below. If you are in a season where it's very difficult to rest, you and your partner are finding very difficult to connect, life is so busy that you're like, I want to connect, but how? When we have no time. And when we do have time, we're exhausted. What does that look like? I am well, there's meet me in the description. I'll say that. I have the marriage reset bundle if you want to work at your own pace, designed for connection and communication. And if you're like, hey, I really want to be in community, I really want something on the regular, then I invite you to check out the marriage culture in the description as well. So meet me there if that feels good. So hey, I'm Imani. I'm here to encourage us to stay connected, connected to yourself, connected to your partner, and to creating a life that feels good to you because we only get the one. So if that's your vibe, please subscribe. Let's continue this conversation. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with me. I appreciate you, and I'm going to see you in the next video.